Welcome to season 2 of the Energy Upgrade podcast. I'm your host, Vanessa, master biohacker and successful entrepreneur. In season 1 of the Energy Upgrade, you got to have a taste for my obsession in all things health, energy, entrepreneurship, spirituality, and biohacking, or how to take radical responsibility in living a life by design. As a certified health coach, integrated health practitioner, kinesiologist, and seasoned entrepreneur who built and sold a 7-figure business, I want to dive deeper in this season 2. After healing myself from burnout, from my health falling apart, my hormones leaving my body, I'm here to share everything I wish someone had told me. Every day, I have the incredible opportunity to be mentoring women and supporting them in becoming true magnetic energy bombs. I'm helping them remember who they were all along. It's so powerful that I want to take you in on the journey, almost as if you were a fly on the wall. You'll find that I'm not your typical health coach, and I'm not your typical business coach either. I'm somewhere in between with a lot of spirituality sprinkled in there. This podcast is a sacred place where I come and share with you things that will bring you a high return on investment, because yes, I'm all about ROI. Life goes fast, and if I can show you a shortcut or two, I'll have succeeded at bringing you value. Thank you for being here. Let's go.
Your time is now. Your energy is your life force. You want to be able to magnetize your wellness dreams. A liver detox is the fastest way to start healing. You can and you will.
Well, hello. Welcome back to another episode of the Energy Upgrade. This is Vanessa Gretman, your host. And today I'm going to have a bit of a solo episode. I'm actually just finishing, fresh off of the first session of the Soul and Wealth Club. I feel on fire. And I thought this is the perfect energy to come and share what I wanted to share this week. Actually, what prompted me to record this episode was a reel I did on Instagram last week where I shared what a good coach does, how a good coach is designed, like what a good coach should do to support someone in their evolution. And now it's interesting because when I wrote this, I actually was thinking about me being coached and what I like. And oh my God, I received so many messages of coaches that are like, oh my God, okay, this is not how I'm coaching. Does it mean I'm not a good coach? And then people that were looking for a coach being like, oh, okay, well, actually, this speaks to me. So I thought, you know what? We need to discuss this a little bit more because this coaching industry is interesting. You know, it's almost like getting a bad rep. Some people are like, well, you don't need a coach. You already know what to do. Some people think, I really need someone to hold me accountable. And there's everybody in between. So I want to shed light on my thoughts on this because I've been on both ends of the spectrum. And like I always share, I always personally have coaches, like more than one, because I do believe in complementary support. So sometimes I'll get more help on the personal development side, and then I'll get some help on the business side. And anyway, so I tend to like to be supported that way. But here's my true, honest thought on this. I don't get a coach to tell me what to do because truly, for the most part, I already know. I mean, yes, sometimes I'll need some pointers. Sometimes I'll need to review strategy. Sometimes there's things I didn't think about, things that I'm blindsided by, of course. But it's not the primary reason why I invest with a coach because, with the abundance of information online, the truth is you could probably Google pretty much anything and get a close to accurate answer these days. So I've come to realize that I don't hire a coach anymore for the actual, tips and tricks that I can find on the internet. What I hire a coach for is the energy, the momentum, the accountability. So let me explain what I mean. So for me, the minute I say yes to someone, to a coach, and I've experienced this probably 5 times now. There's always this time where you're like, oh, should I do it? Should I not do it? Is this really what I need? Is this really the right person? Now I've become really, really good at deciphering this. And I'm sharing this because I know it will open things up for you as well. I'm sure some of you listening, you're going to be like, I felt this before. So now the way I pick my coaches is I actually wait for a body response. I don't take decisions with my head anymore. I know this may sound weird, but I just know that my body knows. Like my body, my soul knows better than my head what I actually need for the future version of me. I can't take that decision from my head because I'm not in that version yet. So I'm waiting for the future version of me that resides inside of me already to make the decision. So what do I look for? Usually, when I listen to this person, there's something that I'm drawn to. There's something that it's like she's in my head. There is something that when she speaks, and sometimes it's literally 30 seconds, it could be a 30 seconds reel. And I listen to this person and my whole body warms up. Or sometimes I'll feel even tingles. I'll feel something in my heart, something in my chest, something in my gut. I'll be like, okay, wait a minute. Why is this person activating me this way? And I'll be activated 2 ways. Either I'll get super triggered, like offended by what she said. I'll be like, what? And then I'll sit with that and I'll be like, oh, I think she's right. So either I'll be triggered or I'll be activated in a way that I get to see like some potential that I couldn't even see for myself. It's like this person is opening a brand new door in my brain that I didn't even know existed. So usually if this person, I'm hearing her and she's getting me all these feelings inside of my body, she's like I can already see myself doing the things she's talking about. I can see much bigger than I ever saw, then I know I'm onto something. So that's usually what I look for. And I know that my body is my greatest teacher. I know my body always never lies. So now I'm so in tune to that. So I pay attention to that. Now, the other thing too is I also know that the minute I decide that this is the right person, so the minute I say yes, the transformation has already started. And I see this with my clients too. They'll be like for weeks going back and forth. Should I do it? Should I not do it? And then sending me so many questions. So, they're in their head. And then finally, when they say yes, there's just like this letting go, this surrendering. They're all in. They're like day one, they're all in. And there's such a huge shift that already happens just by them deciding that they are worthy of this investment. And I've experienced this also many times. The minute I say yes, it's like there's something that shifts in my energy where I've made a clear decision. I've made a clear statement to the universe of like, I invest in myself. I deserve to be in this room, to be doing this high level work, to be having these deep conversations. I deserve to heal myself to another level. I am worthy of, putting in place the strategies to support me in impacting more women and generating greater income for more freedom. So you see, this all happens the minute you say yes. And whether or not you think about it, this is truly what happens in the energetics of it. So I know that picking the coach is probably the hardest thing, but once you found the one that gets your whole body lit up, where you feel so activated, so alive, there's something there. And when you say yes, boom. Now, the other thing I know is, like I said at the beginning, I'm not necessarily picking a coach that will tell me like, okay, do this, then do that, then do that. I'm picking a coach that will be able to believe in me so much that just by looking at her and her reflecting that belief back at me, I believe in myself like 1,000 times more in an instant. So this is like she knows this is a non-issue for me. Go. Yeah, do it. This dream is not big enough. Go. Let's do more. So I know that this person, just the mere fact that she's believing that this is possible for me, activates something. And it helps me get there faster. Because if I'm alone trying to figure that out, I don't get this belief reflection. And sadly, it doesn't often come from our family members. It doesn't even come from our partners. This belief that we're looking for actually can only come from ourselves. And what's interesting is when you're sitting in front of a coach, her believing in you is literally you looking at yourself in the mirror. It's this reflection, right? So this deep belief is part of why you make this investment with someone, because you get to almost walk with yourself, with your reflection, so that things can be going even faster. Now, being in the energy of the right coach. So for example, in my coaching containers, for the most part, I have weekly master classes. Now in the Soul and Wealth Club, there's a monthly master class. So this creates momentum. Okay, so every time we meet, the energy is there. So what that does to you is, of course, you go and live your life in between those meetings. But when you drop back in the energy, boom, suddenly you have access to more ideas, more creation. You think of things you didn't think before. You see a situation with a different eye. Your frequency gets raised so that you see things in a very different way. You have motivation. You're like, okay, actually, I can do this. Things that maybe you were procrastinating on, suddenly when you're in that room, the energy of the women of the group, it's like fire under your butt, right? So for me, I also look to be in the right rooms. I want to be surrounded by people that are like-minded. I want to be supported by people that have the same vision as me, because in that way I can also be challenged. I can be held, I can be supported, I can be seen, and we can also exchange on our challenges. So for me, the energy of the group and the energy of the coach and the repetition is so important. That's why now I've moved my Fam Biohacker, which is my entrepreneurship container coaching program, to 12 months. Because I've also experienced the difference between 6 and 12 months coaching groups, and the 12-month is so different. It's like the minute you've taken your decision, your yes, then you don't have to worry about it for an entire year. You can just be all in, focus on you, focus on your growth, your strategy, your next steps. You don't have to always be like, oh my God, my program is ending in 2 months. Oh my God, right? Because that's really what happens when you sign up for smaller timelines. And I've come to realize that now. Have you heard the news? I'm so excited to be introducing the Soul and Wealth Club, a brand new membership, a sacred space for women who are ready to heal their body, mind, and soul, but also to rise in order to live a life full of purpose with more ease and flow. When you become a member of the Soul and Wealth Club, I will be supporting you on this journey back to you. My intention with this space is really to go deeper with you. I'll be hosting monthly 2-hour virtual group retreats where I'm going to lead you and deepen the conversations about all things biohacking, abundance, soul work, emotional release, feminine energy, wealth creation, and so much more. It promises to be extremely potent. Not only are we going to meet every month for these 2-hour masterclasses, but also I'm going to leave you with a recorded activation. See it as a visualization or a meditation that you'll be able to do at home on your own time as often as you need to during the month to integrate the teachings and the learnings. This will help really move the needle at a cellular level so that you can really transform. We're also going to have this private online community of like-minded women that will be able to see you, support you. I will be answering all your questions, reading every single post so that we stay in the energy. Now, if you want more information, we're going to put the link to the club in the show notes. Otherwise, you can always find me, as always, on Instagram. Send me a DM. You can DM Soul to get more information on this amazing membership. Now, hurry up. We start soon, and the introductory pricing currently is at $222 a month. I hope to see you there. Now, the other thing I want to talk about is what happens when you get triggered by a coach. And this sometimes will happen, especially for me anyway, in the past. It's happened with posts that had money in them. Like, oh, I make, $1 million a month, or I make even $100,000 a month. I was like, what? I was so triggered by that stuff before. And then I realized, when I was really honest with myself, the reason why these money posts were activating me so much is because this was a possibility for me I was not letting myself see. Yes, because I've had six-figure $100,000 months since, but I had to put myself in line with that energy, with that possibility. And I had to get really triggered first. Like pissed. I'm talking like, what are you talking about? That's not how we do business. That's not possible. That's a lie. And then I realized underneath it all was my own limiting beliefs, my own fears. But really, the reason why I was getting so activated, when you get activated with emotions and you're like, that's usually because there is a truth in what the other person says that is available to you. You just haven't allowed yourself to see it. So that's why you're seeing me now doing some money posts, because I know how healing that can be. I've been that person on the other side. I always say your triggers are your teachers. Truly. But only when you have the awareness to actually pause, take a breath, and ask yourself, why am I feeling like this right now? Why is this little post on the internet triggering me so much? And I can tell you one thing. If people had more emotional intelligence, if people had more self-awareness, we would have a lot less problems on social media, on the internet, right? Because if everybody was able to self-regulate and pay attention to their triggers and wonder why, and then realize what was lying underneath it, gosh, it would be such a different place, right? We wouldn't have all the trolls and all the haters. We would just have a place for connection, which was the original intention. Now, in saying all of this, I want to be really honest. Of course, even like me as a coach, of course, I will suggest next steps. And of course, I will suggest, you should do this. And if it was me, I would do this, then this. And of course, I will offer tips and I will guide people on what to do next. That's my job also as a coach, is to hold a safe container, hold a vision, decide on a clear path. But I also will never push down someone's throat something they don't feel like doing. So we always check in with the body. And I've appreciated that in coaches before. And in fact, some of the coaches that weren't doing that with me, I left, because I appreciate you sharing with me something that you think I should be doing. But if it doesn't feel right to me, and if we've made sure that it's not my limiting beliefs, it's not my fears, and it's really like, it's just not the path I want to take, then, there's a trap there. We have to be careful. That's why, whether you're a coachee or you're a coach, it's important to make sure that everybody's always checking in with themselves, with their body. Our body's always speaking to us, right? So, if you're in my business containers, sometimes I'll talk about how I launch services, or how I do social media, or how I do storytelling, but it doesn't mean you have to do the same thing. I'm just offering some options, some ideas, some things for you to contemplate. But at the end of the day, you have to be like, you know what, actually, if I was to do it like this, it would speak to me a little bit more. Or what what about taking this idea, tweaking it a little bit more so I, it looks like this for me. That would speak to me. Great, do that. Right. So that's also the role of a coach, is to be able to know, how far to push someone to make sure that it's not the fears and the limiting beliefs getting in the way, because a good coach will push someone past those, but also being able to recognize when, okay, yeah, we have a body reaction here. So let's try to find something that's really, really in line. So to me, the vortexes that are created in coaching containers, there's a lot of people that are scared also of group coaching. They prefer one-on-one. And I've explored all of these options myself, being coached. And I have to say, the group coaching containers have always blown my mind, because when you enter this vortex, people being really vulnerable, like-minded women, and I'm speaking of women, but that's just because those are the containers I'm in. But when people are vulnerable and really sharing and asking questions that are truly, meaningful, it always opens up something in my mind that maybe I had not considered, or maybe something I had been blindsided by, or maybe something that is about to happen for me in my business, but now at least I have the knowledge. So I find the group coaching to be actually extremely rich, because you get to be heard, be seen by a group of like-minded people, but also you get to expand everybody's mind at the same time. So it's a very rich exchange. And so that's why the energy of the group, like, it's interesting, because when you enter a group, you become connected energetically to everybody in there. So that's why it's great when everybody's like really on the same page about leveling up, being all in, because then, oh boy, like, if you just look at my own transformation these past like 12, 18 months, like, I wouldn't never have been able to do any of that stuff on my own. Like, I know it's because I've put myself in rooms that I was so scared to be in, that I was able to grow at that speed. I was able to see, oh my gosh, people are doing that. Oh my gosh, people are this bold. Oh my gosh, people are generating this kind of money online. Oh my God, like, it just kept opening new doors, new ceilings for me. And I'm sharing this because that is the primary reason why being coached in 2024 still makes sense, even when you can find all the answers on the internet, because it's not about those answers. It's about how the heck do you apply them in your life, and how do you play up against your mind? How do you go up day after day, despite you being sick, the kids being sick, stuff happening, money issues? Like, how do we stay motivated? How do we keep momentum? How do we avoid stalling at all cost? And to me, I found that having someone that has my back, having a container where I can notice and witness that I'm not alone, that we are all through this journey, has been a lifesaver. It's been my lifeline. And so I'm just sharing it because I think sometimes we hesitate, we don't make the move. And, the question is just like, how long do you want to feel like you're taking one step and taking two back, taking one step, taking four back, taking two steps, like, it's just like this go back and forth, as opposed to just, yes, making an investment, but then boom, making things happen, because we don't know how much time we have. Every day matters to me. That's how I see it. Every day matters. That's why you gotta take responsibility for leveling up your health. Like, in 2024, that is the only way to actually age without sickness and disease. If you don't take full responsibility for your health right now, with the amount of toxins we're exposed to on a daily basis, well, sorry, but don't try to hit longevity scores here. Like, it's going to be harder and harder. So if we don't take full responsibility for what we put in our body, how we move our body, the things we consume, the things we're noticing, we're watching with our head, the way our nervous system is dysregulated, if we don't do a good job at becoming a strong advocate for that, it's going to get harder and harder. So every day matters. And the everyday matters for the business, for the dreams, for the expansion, for sometimes it's not even an expansion. Sometimes it's just a shift in your offering and your services. All of that compounds over time. And the more you take care of your vessel, your instrument, which is your body, and the more you take care of, contributing to the world, generating income through passion, using your superpowers and your gifts, the more you realign how you contribute in the world with your soul and your heart, the more you create and you compound at the speed of light. That's how it works. That's truly the power of manifestation also. So anyway, that's a conversation for another day, but I really wanted to talk about this whole coaching industry because, like I said, it's not because you can find all the answers on the internet that it doesn't have its place. I'm here to tell you that. And I can speak, like I said, more as like being coached. I know the impact it has. And that's exactly the feeling I want every single one of my clients to feel when they join my universe. So if there's a coach in your life, or someone that wants to become a coach, or someone that's been on the fence about being coached for a while, well, you may want to send them this episode because this might open up new possibilities for them. That's the goal of this podcast always. And I want to also honor you. Thank you for those of you who are taking precious time out of your day. Sometimes it's a minute, 30 seconds to go and put a 5-star review on the podcast, whether it's on Apple Podcasts or Shopify, Spotify. It means the world to me. And truly, it's what keeps this podcast going. It's what keeps me motivated to keep coming back Tuesday after Tuesday here with new topics to bring to your awareness. So please, if you haven't done it already, I would so appreciate it if you could take 30 seconds of your time to come and rate this show and let other people know why are you loving tuning back in? Why is this impactful to you? Now, with that being said, I hope you have a fantastic week ahead. Spring is here. The energy of blooming is here. The energy of planting seeds is here. Go all in. This is the time to shine. I hope to see you again next week. Talk to you soon. The information shared on this podcast is for information purposes only and doesn't provide any medical advice. Vanessa Grotman does not cure, diagnose, or treat disease. Please consult your physician before trying any new protocol or product.